What's going on, Sagittarius? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. So, for those of you who are returning, had to change up things a little bit. Technical difficulties, sentence troubles. It's fine. We're not talking about it. We're powering through it. Thank you for your subscriptions, your likes, your shares. You are helping this guy grow. And for those of you who are new, ignore that first half. I totally have it together. I'm happy your higher self has brought you here, and you are in for an amazing journey, or at least an interesting one. Now, what I'm going to be doing this week is a tarot card reading for the week of October 30th through November 5th. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, okay? So, that being said, let's jump into it. I've cleansed your space, made some new friends this weekend, so it's going to be a whole thing. Big old party. Now, I'm going to be pulling 15 cards. They're going to be in 5 groups of 3. The middle group is going to represent the nature of your problem. The upper left and upper right-hand corners are going to be some future outcomes you might be considering. The bottom left is going to represent some perspectives you might be thinking about in relationship to the nature of the problem. And then finally, the bottom right will be whatever messages your higher self would like you to know. And in case you all were curious, I'm using Aleister Crowley's Thoth deck. The imagery on these cards are super cool, so I'll make sure to show you those all throughout. But without further ado, higher self, what do we have in store for Sagittarius this week? Let me get these cards pulled, and then we'll get right to it. Ooh, heavy. Okay. But not a bad thing. Never a bad thing. Mindfulness all over the place. Ooh, and wands all over the place. All right. Yeah. But I mean, that's no surprise. You always bring that big energy. Ah, and there you are. I love it when you show up for yourself. You'll see. I don't think you can quite see it, but you'll see it in a second. Let me get these cards all situated, and I'll get into it. Love it. Okay. And let me know with this view, because this view you can see the cards a lot better. So if you like this setup, definitely let me know, and yeah, I might adjust some things. But let's get back to the Sagittarius show. Let's see what's going on in Sagi's world. Saggy. And let me know. I still haven't heard back from you if you want me to call you Saggy. I'm going to keep doing it, apparently. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into it, Sagittarius. Okay. So, for the nature of your problem this week, pulled the 7 of Cups. And then the cards that came along with it are the 8 of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So, let's talk about some of this heavier stuff here. With the 7 of Cups being the nature of your problems, it could be multiple problems with the 7 of Cups. Hopefully we don't have 7 cups each with a problem, but if we do, we're going to tackle them one at a time, Sagittarius. That's how we're going to tackle this together. Because with the 7 of Cups, this is a card of, toxic behavior. It's a lot of like lying, taking advantage, overindulging. It's very ungrateful, very kind of icky. It can come across as very icky kind of energy. And what a word to pop in my head. But this is more so, I do feel like, what isn't serving you a purpose? What is bringing down your abundance, or your fulfillment? And I really feel like this is more so your emotional abundance. Because the cups in general have to deal with emotional matters. It could have to deal with monetary things as well, because if you're emotionally are not in the right space, that does affect everything. That affects this whole thing. But only if we're not looking at this for the hidden strength that this has. Because all the 7 of Cups is asking you to shine some light on some things that we might have let get out of hand. Maybe we've been and these are just rough examples. Maybe we've been hitting the drinks a little too hard. And also no, this is a judgment-free zone, because I'm right there. I'm cheering you on along the way. I want your best want you to be the best you can possibly be. But let's say, you know, maybe there's been like a drinking thing, or maybe we've been maybe hitting maybe been hitting the casinos a little hard. You know, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe we have toxic people in our lives. You know, whatever that looks like. I feel like when the Seven of Cups pops up, it's time to address that, because the next person that's going to come up is our good friend the devil. And where I don't not like him popping up, if we can avoid having if we can have as few devil moments as possible, that is ideal. But that is, the Seven of Cups is a prelude to a devil moment. So I feel like let's while we're still able to identify these issues, let's go ahead and hit that first cup. You know, what is it that's not serving you a purpose? And in the sense, it's like, if it's not bringing you any kind of good in your life, if it's not elevating you, helping you rise, it just could be time to just kind of maybe move it to the side, or just to really start to address it and start to help heal, you know, start healing from this. Because when you get stuck in the Seven of Cups energy, I feel like that's how Eight of Swords happens. Because then you get in your head about it. Because then it's like, you know that you want to get, you know, I feel like no one wants to really stay in Seven of Cups, but sometimes you get a little in a little too deep, and it's hard to see the other side of it. And then Eight of Swords comes over, and it's just like, hey, I heard you holding a pity party. I love pity parties. That's what the Eight of Swords is. It's like anything that's gonna help get in your way. You know, that's that mentality of, oh, I'm not strong enough. Oh, it's gonna require this amount of work, and I don't have that kind of time. I gotta still do this and blah blah blah. But this is becoming the source of my thing, and then you're chasing your tail, and it's become this really sick dance. You know, where what we're really just dancing around is all the strength that this cards want to bring for you. Because once you do kind of shine that light on this stuff, all this mental anguish starts to go away. And what's going to be the biggest thing to start dealing with these Seven of Cups, and really this Eight of Swords, is being compassionate with yourself. And even if this Seven of Cups extends to, like, you know, toxicity in people, even showing them some compassion, just being like, hey, again, no judgment here, but as of right now, we are not serving each other a purpose, so I'm going to go ahead and remove myself from this. This is not, you know, I don't think you can ever cut someone off. You know, you can distance yourself, because, you know, thoughts of them will still pop up, you know, and that's those thoughts, those interference, you know, it's like, man, you maybe start dealing with it. It's not as easy when you're dealing with the stuff. Man, wouldn't it be nice if I could just go back to, but do you really want to go back to Seven of Cups? I don't think so. And I only said it because the Ace of Swords is here. And normally this is with my card, with great power comes great responsibility. But this card also can be, you know, this is your strength in times of trouble. You know, when you're being met with these, when you're having a hard time finding your little nuggets of wisdom in these moments, that's where the Ace of Swords comes in. It's just like, yo, you totally have this. Sometimes you just need to be reminded. You know, we do get so lost up, especially I feel like, you know, once this has had time to really get comfortable and settle in, you really kind of hide all the strengths. It really sneaky about how it hides your strengths away. Then, yep, it invites its friend. But you got that power, Sagittarius. You are going to be the one that's going to bring an end to this. And it really does it can circle back to that, with great power comes great responsibility. You have that power. If you choose to ignore it, that's okay. But just know that this stuff is still here, and it's just going to fester. And then when it comes back, it's going to come back a little bit stronger. Next thing we might be looking at is devils and tower moments and hangmans, and which there's gold in all of that. But with this coming up here, while we're flirting with those cards right now. We're flirting with the idea of a devil or a tower moment. Let's see if we can stay ahead of this thing. Let's see if we can use this Ace of Swords to get through this, because you know what? Let's move to some future stuff here. Let me start on the right hand. Yeah, just because I feel like, yeah, let's start on the right hand side here. Because on the right hand side with the future, I pulled the Princess of Wands, the Seven of Discs, and the Art card. That's your card. And look at that. You showed up for yourself, you know, first, and that's a big deal. Now, before we get there, with the Princess of Wands, the Princess of Wands, she's I've always had some things to say about her, with her showing up naked and all these things, sleeping tiger and whatnot, but she really has become like my card of tenacity. You know, she's the type that no matter how, whatever life brings her down, whether it's Seven of Cups, Eight of Swords, or one Justin, she still shows up. Last week, you should have seen her. I would say something about her, she'd pop up in the next reading. Say something else about her, pop in last week. That's how, or she'd pop up again. That's how she became my card of tenacity, because this girl she is a firecracker. You know, and even, you know, though, I feel like when she pops up, this is really kind of reminding us to just like be confident, you know, to remember that fire that we had, to remember that that we are stronger than the situations that we are presented with. It's just, do we go at it with that same enthusiasm, like, okay, it may not have been perfect today, just like, look at this. Do you think this is how I've envisioned doing my readings today? But hey, you had to make it work. We had to show up for ourselves, and we had to bring that tenacity. We couldn't let Seven of Wands bring us down, or excuse me, Seven of Discs bring us down, because the Seven of Discs is that fear of failure. You know, this is unmet goals, and really unmet goals in the sense of like, well, it could even be before you even started, you're like, oh, well, there's, you know, if someone had told me this camera wasn't going to work, or, you know, things were going to be kind of wonky, it's like, well, maybe I shouldn't do things this week. And then that's how Seven of Discs pops up. I got unmet goals, and this is just to give you an example. I'm still talking about you, Sagittarius, because you might have camera problems. You know, hopefully I'm not the only one alone in these technological problems. Moving on, but you know, with this card here, I feel like this is saying, you know, when the Princess of Wands, she doesn't get brought down by this card. You know, this is, you know, you could think, well, what if this happens? You know, what if that happens? You know, what if? Well, what if things go great? What if I'm able to turn this situation around? What if I'm able to find this strength allows me to help someone else who's dealing with something similar. Now I can, and we got, look at that. Even the Eight of Swords is just like, oh, if that's how you're about to go about things, I'm about to get out of here. Because it sees that you're trying to grow. And just like that, thank you, Eight of Swords, just like that. And look at that. And now we've even made friends with it. Look at what beauty has happened. Because I'm just going to skip to it. We showed up for ourselves. I think that's what's really happened. I'm just excited to get to you. Because this is a card of, like your, you know, creativity. You know, we're getting ready to make a move. We've spent this time. We've calculated. Hold on, let me go grab this card. We've calculated things. You know, we've really got this stuff. We've got a pretty good grip on what's going on with this Eight of Swords, this Seven of Cups energy, the Seven of Disc energy, and now we're gonna get back out and we're gonna take this Princess of Wands energy and we're got to go get our control back. Come back to the artist that we know that we are. And you know, I do, you know, the art card, it is a card of completion. You know, this is, if the Lovers is the alchemical marriage, then the art card is the honeymoon, because this is that coming together of those energies. You know, that, look at it as your light and your dark side coming all together, and then let's make those two become something, you know, come together to make a third thing. And what that third thing is whatever you want to create, Sagittarius. It's take that beauty from all these lessons that you got from here, apply it with some of this fire and that drive that you have, and there's nothing you can't accomplish. Especially, you showed up for yourself. And remember that at the end of the day, remember that. I feel that's a really powerful message too. Remember that you showed up for yourself. You know, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I got chills from that, Sagittarius. I hope that I wanted to resonate with all of you, but you know, definitely I hope that resonated with some of you. Now, let's move on to this other side here, because over here you have the Knight of Wands, the Eight of Wands, and the Ten of Wands. You see what I'm talking about? All this big energy, and all these cards are yours. you really are showing up for yourself in a way that I've not seen in other, all of your, I love it. I love it. And I love that this guy's here. Full steam ahead. Let's get out of this. And I feel like a lot of you are ready to get out of this, out of this. Take this wisdom and run. My only caveat with the Knight of Wands is he can be a double-edged sword, because if you haven't taken the time to address these issues, and we've just sort of been, I think it's enough. I'm ready now. Don't, I say don't wallow in it, but don't rush this process either. Because if you're, let's say you're, okay, I think I'm feeling good, but you still got some residual Seven of Cups energy going in, that is going to spill over into your next thing. And it might not be noticeable at first, but then we find ourselves back at the same situation again, that kind of like, be aware of like escapist mentalities. We want to make sure that we have a very clear picture of where we want to drive this energy. And I like that kind of leads me nicely into this Eight of Wands, because the Eight of Wands is about that, once you, I feel like with it popping up here, with just this whole thing, I feel like with it popping up like this, things are about to get, once you've taken the time to clean up house internally, things are going to start coming in fast for you. Like good news. We're going to get to that rainbow here. We're not going to be spending this time like, oh, well, this and that, I got to deal with this cup and this cup and this cup. No, we're just going to go straight to this happiness here. And, I feel like with the Eight of Wands, it could also be maybe we've been stuck in this energy because we're waiting on some news for something. This could be a card also of news coming in. But I'm more so feeling that, once you've gotten out of this space, I feel like it's going to be the clouds are going to part, all the dark clouds are going to part open, and you're going to have your view, and you're just going to be able to go out and get it, But again, but got Ten of Wands to pop up. The Ten of Wands is that, oppressive. It could be that it's very oppressive, possibly, very destructive energy if not channeled correctly. Can be very, feel kind of repressed too. So maybe some of you, this thing hasn't been, maybe we've been wanting this to come in faster. We want to get over this. We're trying to get over this as fast as possible and trying to force it. And that's leading to this energy to where it's like you feeling kind of locked up. Because this is another one of your cards too. This is Saturn, and this one is Mercury in Sagittarius, and then this one is Saturn in Sagittarius. And, Saturn is always there to try to teach us a lesson. It may seem harsh, but it's always in the efforts to make us grow. So if you're feeling some of this resistance while you're going in with this King of Wands energy, trust your instincts. Make sure to be aware of that, because it just might not be the time. It might be too soon. Because another thing with this Eight of Wands, this can represent forced exercise too suddenly. So you might be, again, that forcing of this thing. It's just like if you tried to force, how I say, don't force a reading, take what resonates with you. Same kind of thing with these issues. You got to give them their space. But, and again, it's a tricky, I know, it's like I'm telling you to go, but slow down, go, slow down. It's about finding that balance, finding that tricky, finding that where everything kind of aligns. And you just know, and and once you do, you're going to feel it, that once that light weight's kind of coming off, you're going to go off and conquer. But I do feel like I'm really more so, now that I've kind of gone through them all, I really am, for some, I do feel like, do be careful about forcing it. Because I do understand wanting to, once because you're obviously, you're coming here because we wanted some clarity. And so we see, we see them now. This is, some of our stuff has been laid out, what we need to deal with. But now it's just making sure that you're not rushing this process along like, yeah, I'm good. Justin, thanks for telling me. Now I know what to do. I can just go out and get it. Because you might be, and you know what? You might be able to go out and get it for a minute. And I'm still going to be rooting you on. But if you do happen to burn out along the way, that's going to get us in a funk. And it might get us, to where we feel like we might have failed. And that's the last thing that really this card wants for you and what I want from you. You know, this is, we want you to grow at the rate that you're supposed to. So just be mindful of that. That's the only thing that I will leave. And, you know, for some, definitely, really for, you know, patience. Just like how, you know what, if you don't force it, I'm not gonna keep trying to force whatever I'm trying to spit out at you, because I probably said it. How many different ways can I say that? Let's move it along, Sagittarius. I hear you. Okay, let's see what we're thinking about. We are thinking about, oh, and I like what we're thinking about. Let's think about this Queen of Wands energy, this Four of Disc, and my girl, the Empress. Ugh. You have to wait your turn. I know. I'm just going to set you here for a second because sometimes I can't think when you're there, girl. Queen of Wands. I think that this is very appropriate to how, if I had to say, well, Justin, you told me to slow down, but, you know, to find that right pace. Well, what is the right pace? Queen of Wands is the right pace. The Queen of Wands in all of this, even when I'm throwing craziness at you, it's just like, she stays calm in all of that. She takes what resonates with her, she leaves the rest, and she applies it to her life. Because she is look at her. Even in, you got all this fire down here, you would think, oh, that doesn't look good. Nope, that fire is exactly where it should be because she wills it. Ooh, who invited this cheat in here? She did, because that's where it's supposed to be. Because look at her. She is so put together. Of the wand suits, she's the calmest of them. You know, she represents that calm authority. That she's very adaptable, is what it is. She's and it makes sense. You'd have to be. She's the queens represent water, and then the wands represent fire. So she's the watery part of fire. So she's got to be able to be. You know, she's dealing with two contradictory energies, but she's doing it like a boss. And I love that this Four of Disc is here, because with this Four of Disc, you know, this is really, now that we've come out of this, now we can establish that power again. We can get our stability, you know, get that foundation. Because I can get, you know, when you're stuck in this realm for a while, it is hard. It's hard to feel like find your footing again, you know, to feel like things are going to get back to normal. But that's exactly what this card is. It's like getting like that law and order again in your life, you know, establishing that foundation again. Okay, all right, girl, I've waited long enough. Now, normally the Empress is my self-care card. So for some, and that totally applies here too. While you're doing with this, treat yourself kindly. You know, make sure you're resting in all of this. Like I've said, you know, while we're not rushing, you know, take this time, make sure your energy is in the right place. Make sure that you're that you're taking care of yourself, you know, first and foremost through all of this. Because the Empress represents, you know, beauty. She's Venus. She's beauty, aesthetics, good fortune, all the, and then she's doing all this cool stuff, and she's bringing that emperor vibe as well, but just in a more feminine aspect of it. But that doesn't make her any less bossy. You know, this is my girl here. She is an OG. And I feel like with her popping up into where you're like some perspectives to consider, I feel like this is more so to calling upon your compassion. Because I can get where sometimes if things are, you know, if you're the type that's, you know, like wants things like, I just want it now. Like, I don't want to be patient. I don't want to do this. I want it to be over. I absolutely get it. Judgment-free zone. But she's also like, sometimes I like that she pops, because it's just like, it's okay. It's okay if it's not happening at the pace that you want. That doesn't mean that you're a failure. That doesn't mean that we need to distract ourselves with like escapist things. We don't need to get in our head about this. All we need to do is take care of ourselves and make sure that our hearts are in a good place, our bodies are feeling in a good place, that we're just all good, so that when we go out, when it is that time, when the Eight of Wands comes to call and everything is where we're supposed to be, then we can go out and be, you know, spread this energy, and to be able to Also, I love when stuff like this pops up because it gives you a chance to help others who are going through a similar situation that you've gone through, and now you're a master at it, and now you can help, you can pass that insights along to people, because she's a master. She's all about helping people, get back to that where they're feeling their best selves again. So I feel like what you're thinking, we're trying to get back to our Empress energy, and I'm all for it. So let's take some notes from her and make sure that that you are taking care of yourself and that you're being kind to yourself while you're doing it, because it is these energies are tough, but it's gonna be all right. Because you want to know why I know that? Because your higher self is telling me that, if we Hermit, we Two of Disc, and we two of Wands, it's gonna be Gucci. Now let me actually go into that. With the Hermit is one of my meditation cards. This is a card of illumination from within. You got the sun. Oh, hold on. You got the sun right in there, and this is you trying to find that sun again. Because sometimes the sun can get clouded in all of this, kind of harsh energy. In these lessons that we're trying to learn. It's hard to remember that we are the sun, that we do have so much to give, and in this time, this is. I won't say with the Hermit, I feel like when it pops up, I don't feel like it's a card that says, cut everybody out of your life. But I do feel like it's time, when you can find a little time to, just to treat yourself. Treat yourself a little bit, have some you time, just so that you can recharge, and whatever that looks like. I understand if you got kids or whatever, that's a whole other thing in itself. You got to find babysitters. Maybe you can reach out, but you have to, whenever you can, try to take this time for yourself, so that when these cards come up here, you'll know how to handle this a lot better. And that's what the Two of Disc is about. This is about dealing when you do. How do you be okay when these moments come on? Because you got quite a bit of mindful cards here. This is a lot. I say this is a lot not to overwhelm you. I say this with excitement, and I'm excited because what's going to come out of this, Sagittarius, is going to be beautiful. Think of these. What nuggets of strength can you find to this? And then when you're going to be able to take that out and conquer it, you sow these seeds with all this stuff. Because remember, you showed up for yourself. You know how to be in this ebb and flow of life. And that's, we're trying to get to the point with the Two of Disc. Getting off track here. With the Two of Disc, we're trying to get in this sweet spot here. It's good to enjoy the good, learn from the wisdom, so that we can get in here, so that we can stay in the present, and then apply those things to our everyday life, so that we can get our dominion back, so that we can get some kind of control, so that our energy feels balanced. Because that's what the Two of Wands is about. It's about that really that true fiery strength. That in you're one of the fire signs. So this is about getting your energy back. And this whole thing, you've got a good chunk of wands in here. You got 3 out of the 4 court cards, probably two. There's so much energy in here right now. And so I get where you're like, whoa, it's all right. It is okay. Because you're getting there. Your higher self is letting you know that this is within your grasp. You're right there. Just take a little time, when you can. Yeah, because I get it. We have things that we need to take care of. So just whenever you can, make sure that you're taking that time to treat yourself. Okay. I think that this is a good time for me to switch back. So yeah, hopefully this. I want this. Yep, it's a mess. So I want this to resonate with all of you, but I really hope that this resonates with some of you. It's always hard to try to convey when the right time is, when healing is done, because I don't really feel like it's it's ever, I don't want to say it's ever really done in a way that's going to make you like, oh, then what's the point? The point is to get that growth so that when you wake up each day, you're waking up a better version of yourself, and then as you're going through each day, you're just becoming better and better and better. We're just empressing it up all day. Knight of Wands all day. Queen of Wands all day. You all day, every second of your life. This is, remember, if you don't get anything else from this, definitely show up for yourself. Definitely, absolutely show up for yourself, because there's great strength in that. If you believe that you can get through this, there's nothing that you can't do. So, I really hope that you like that. Be sure to do all those cool YouTube things. Like, share, subscribe, and to get a better picture of you during this time. Check your moon, check your rising, and the challenge this week is to check your Mars, because you know what? And now that I'm looking at all this energy, it makes sense, because Mars is going into retrograde. But, well, I guess let me go ahead and jump into my favorite segment. Let's go ahead and, you want to bring me a Knight of Wands? Look what the Knight of Wands brought with them. Celestial News Weekly. This camera stuff has got my game off. But see, that's not a loss, because now I know we're gonna bring it next time, and that wasn't bad. Take the wins where we can, Sagittarius, because that's what we do. Now, let's see what the planets are doing, because like I had said, today Mars is going retrograde, and Mars it'll be in retrograde from now until the 12th of January. So we got a little bit of time kind of settle in. But this is a card of like our outward activity, our sex drive, our aggression, our anger. That's all in Mars's wheelhouse. And with it being in retrograde, this is a good time. This is, well, I say a good time just because there's so much wisdom getting ready to come from all this stuff. But this is a time of, you might find yourself in turmoil, frustration, feeling oppressed. It's a lot of really heavy stuff. You might feel this lack of momentum. Things aren't moving fast enough. And, then you get this impulse. Because, I don't know if I mentioned, this is a good thing to talk about too, with the Ten of Wands. The Ten of Wands can be, if you're getting into that frustrated state and you're just like, where do I get this energy? Flips table. You would think that's what Mars would just want you to do. And Mars is like, ha ha ha, got him. No, Mars is like, hey, I hear your frustration. Maybe let's go about this a different way. It's about bringing that awareness to how sometimes we can get lost in that anger. I feel like, we get told to, you can't get angry. You got to bottle that up. It's fine. And, there's a time and a place for it, but I feel like if you bottle up your anger, it's the same thing like with anything else. It's going to fester, and it's going to build, and it's going to build, and it's going to build, and then when something that really should be minor in the grand scheme of things, but you've got all this like 5 years, and that's a bit over exaggerated, but can you imagine 5 years in anger because someone forgot to use a coaster or threw cards all over the place, and you're just like, ah! We don't want that. Mars wants you to be like, hey, can you grab me can I put a coaster down for you? Can I clean this mess up for you? Do you need an English book? Because these sentences, what are you doing? That's what Mars wants us to do. It really wants peace, but it has a funny way of doing it. It wants peace through showing you what your aggression looks like, so that it doesn't surprise you when it pops up, so that you can deal with this in a more healthy kind of manner. It's like when that pops up, maybe it's time to dance it out a little bit. If it pops up, maybe it's time to go for a walk. Maybe go for a run. But definitely find some kind of healthy outlet for it. That's what Mars retrograde is about. And definitely, be mindful of right now, let's not start fights. Let's not start fights, really for the rest of our mission here on Earth. But if we got to get in a little tiff every now and again, let's wait till, maybe let's wait till like March. I was gonna say the 12th, but you got the retrograde shadow, some some feelings might linger. So let's give it to maybe end of February, beginning of March, to where we can maybe start thinking about picking some fights. But ultimately, we don't want to do that at all. We be playful in it. Next, November 1st, we have the first quarter moon. And this is a time to, I don't really have anything for that. This is a time to kind of think about becoming stronger and more kind of, more like adept in the task that we need to complete. So if your task during this time is, self-care, getting yourself, taking care of yourself, getting your mental state back in order, absolutely. That is definitely something to plan during, if that was your thought for the new moon phase, then let's make sure we're on track, because that's what the first quarter moon is. It's like, check in to make sure that we've where did you go? Sagittarius, where did you go? Here you are. So elusive. This is a card too, make sure that we are being calculated in how we're moving, that we're thinking about all of our options, and if we're seeing a dead end, it's time to, okay, that's not where this Eight of Wands is taking me. That's not where Knight of Wands is trying to go. Let's steer this horse this way. Let's try a different option, because that's going to lead to burnout. And that's not what we're trying to do. We showed up for ourselves, so let's be calculated and and critical in particular about where we're getting ready to channel this energy at. Okay. So that's it on like main stuff. Now I'm gonna get into a few aspects. Pull your surprise card and get you out of here. Now with the aspects, these energies they've been going on at least for the last few days, but they're going to be going on at least until probably the beginning of next week. For others, it's going to be going a little longer. But Jupiter is conjunct with Neptune, and when celestial bodies are conjunct with each other, that's like the strongest blend of energy that two bodies can share. So this is like really big, powerful energy coming in. And with Jupiter being conjunct in Neptune, this is a time for, what a better thing to do while we're getting all these wisdom from these moments that have been coming at us. Maybe, take on finding like a creative outlet to channel some of this frustration, this worry, all this stuff. Let's do some things that's gonna, maybe uplift us some. Because this is with Jupiter conjunct with Neptune, this is that time for like your imagination is become like expanded. There's this like expansive creativity and the spiritual knowing just kind of like permeates all over the place, and there's this feeling of just very strong compassion. I feel like really if for some of you, if this is the energy that you're in, I feel like this is going to be some good energy to try to channel into this week, just as a healthy outlet. And on top of Mars being retrograde, yeah, definitely just something that you can pour into, so that we're creating some stuff again, so that it doesn't just feel like you're just burnt out and everything's just being destroyed around you. Let's add a little life back into our lives, and start doing some things that are going to just get you uplifted. Now, with next thing is Saturn is squared with Uranus, and when two bodies are squared, it's going to be more kind of conflicting energy. So you got to get a little. Good thing you got to get a little creative with how you integrate things, and it's a good thing we got this creative energy with the previous aspect, because this is a time to the feeling of needing to break free, kind of out with the old, in with the new type of energy. But it's about, again, finding that balance, which most of us want it now. So what's going to happen with this energy is either some of us are going to want to force it and make it happen like right now. I want this right now. And then there are others who are like, well, my world is fine. Why would I change anything? And the problem, there's faulty reason on both of them, because if you rush change, the evolution is going to be messy. You'll get to where you need to be, but it's just going to be a little bit messier than it should as if you let it happen naturally. And the same kind of thing is, if you feel like there's everything in your world is, as it should be, there's nothing else, there's no more growth that's needed. That's a little concerning too, because it's like, well, then what are you going to do next? Like, that's it? No, there's plenty more you want to do, Sagittarius. So that's, this is too, when transformation comes a knocking, that's when you open the door, and you'll know it because you're intuitive. Absolutely, I believe it. You believe it. I believe it. Your card believes it. Believe it. Lastly, and we're almost done. Jupiter is sextile Pluto. And when the celestial bodies are sextile, their energies are smooth. We're grooving. It's really nice energy. But this is a time you're kind of coming into that Empress energy, and you're getting like a sense of power. And this is more the power, the command, the influence of your own. Normally, I would tie that into more Emperor energy. But the Empress can be just as commanding, just as powerful, just as influential as the Emperor. She just goes about it in a different way. And maybe some of you have been coming at it maybe a little bit too, we've been tapping into our masculine a little too hard. We've been just kind of like, go, go, go. Whereas we should come in, finding that, come in maybe a little bit softer, just like, hey, listen, I know I didn't say I wasn't gonna force it. So here, let's get your hair all nice. Like, we can get you a new outfit. And let's take a nap. Look how beautiful that is. But there's power in that too. But the whole thing of that is, this is a time for kind of forming alliances with kindred spirits. People who want to lift you up. That you want to better. It's not about who's best. It's like, we're both really awesome, and then how do we keep becoming awesome together? How do we grow as a group and then expanding on that group? That's what this Jupiter being sextile with Pluto. This is about realizing that collaboration can lead to where we go from just merely surviving to where we're thriving. Because a lot of this energy here, you can kind of feel like you're just going through the motions. Life is just happening to you, and that's not the case. It's going to take you from being reactive to being proactive. So, use these energies to your advantage. This is a tricky time for you, Sagittarius. I'm not gonna soften that for. I see you. I understand, and really, and girl, she's gonna say it's gonna be okay, but again, you showing up for yourself in all of this, I really like that you showed up for yourself in all of this. And I think that's really just going to be the thing. Show up for yourself, keep showing up for yourself, and everything is going to be fine. And then you're going to find, once you do that for yourself, then your soul tribe is going to pop up. And then we're channel that Jupiter Neptune energy. We're just going to start creating stuff. Everything's going to be beautiful. Ain't that lovely? Let's pull your surprise card. I'm going to get you out of here. Ha! Clarity! I love it. Who better than the liberator of the minds to finish us off? The Queen of Swords. Oh, too far. The Queen of Swords is about getting that clarity. Like I've said, she's literally the liberator of the minds because... right there. I'm still working on this camera view. But right there, she's like, check your energy. She can't sit on this cloud of this throne of clouds if she's got all this weighing down on the Queen of Swords. She's been gone. And that would suck. But this is, with her popping up, this is confirmation that the clarity is coming. Thank you, girl. Thank you. This is confirmation that it's coming. Just give it that time. When you're gonna know, and you're gonna be able to go out and conquer. And you're gonna feel just so much better about it too. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I really hope this helps you get through your week. Let's remember to keep raising that good old vibration, and I will catch you on the next one later. See, hold on, before we go. If you hear that siren, you might not even be able to hear it. But if you hear that siren trying to force its way in here, nope. We are taking our time. We're going to get at it when we get at it. Yeah, just go get at it, Sagittarius. See ya.